needed to escape the raging war around you. On March 10th, 1980, this is the situation that Kim Ray's mother found herself in. With the sudden loss of her husband during the war, she took her 2 small daughters and ran. In the woods of Battambang, Cambodia, in the midst of danger, Kim Ray was born. Picking up her newborn daughter and urging her other 2 daughters along, she continued to run. This was the dramatic beginning to Kim Ray's life. We would like to tell you how she grew up, her trip to America, her present goals, and about her country. This is a map of Battambang, Cambodia. That's the city that she grew up in. And this is Kim Ray. Cambodia was torn apart by civil war. Both sides wanted her brother, half-brother, and her father to join them. Neither one of them wanted to join the war, so her father was killed and her brother ran to America. Her aunt on her mother's side decided that she didn't like the fact that her father would not join her side of the cause and disowned Kim's family. Kim's family was very poor, and she lived in the country. And this is a picture similar of the village that she grew up in. She had to walk to get water from a well, or they would have to collect rainwater to drink. They would bathe in the river. They would have to find small trinkets to sell so that they could get food. This is a picture of a classroom similar to what she went to. Schooling in Cambodia was extremely different. There was no public schools. If you would like to go to school, then your family had to pay. If you did not graduate high school by the age of 18, you did not continue. There's no books at all. The teacher would write everything onto the board. She decided that she wanted to go to school, and so her sisters and mother worked so that she could go to school since she was the youngest. She started school at 7 years old and went until she was 18 when she graduated high school. She then continued to go 2 extra years to college. Every morning she would have to get up at 4 a.m. to get on her bike and ride an hour and a half to school one way. After graduating college, she became an elementary school teacher, making only $30 a month. She decided to come to America so that she could get a better paying job, and so that eventually she would be able to help her family the way that they helped put her through school. She then, when she decided to come to America, her half-brother here started helping her. He started sending her money, and when she got enough money, she went and bought a ticket to come to Washington. She got onto the plane, and they did offer her food, but she did not know how to eat American food, so she did not eat the whole trip. When she finally got to the U.S., she was hungry, she did not know how to speak English, and she was alone.
Her brother left her with $200 to spend at the airport or whatever she would need. Like Kathy said, she didn't know how to speak English, so therefore she didn't know how to communicate with the employees in order for help or what she needed to do. Finally, she was able to get in contact with an employee in which they called her brother for her in order for her to have a ride home. He told her that he'll be picking her up within 15 minutes. So she went outside the airport and stood for hours. Come to find out, she was in Washington, D.C., in that Washington state. Oh. Her bags were sent to Washington State, but she was in Washington, D.C. Now, she didn't eat on the airplane, and she didn't know how to spend her $200, so therefore, her 3-day trip, she nearly died because of starvation. Finally, her brother bought another ticket in order to send for her to come to Washington. She stayed in the house for about 6 months because she was just afraid of what she just went through in order to get to America. Presently, she goes to Clover Park Tech. She's in the ESL program. She's also studying math. She's been in the U.S. for 3 years now. She wants to get her GED as well as a better job in order to save money and also send back to her family. She plans to move back to Cambodia in about 10 years or more, depending on her financial stability, so she can own her own rice farm and also not have to work anymore with the money she saved up. She's currently cleaning a police station in Lakewood for her job. In her spare time, she likes to read books and also watches movies occasionally. About her country is also corrupt. Money is very important and is what runs the country. The government doesn't help. The country is very poor. There's not state assistance there like you would find in America. Military is in charge of the country. There is a king, but he has no power. If you build a house, you don't have any mortgage, of course, and that's what you would live in. I would like to show you a picture of how they get it started. Her mother did build their own house in order for them to live in. There's not many cars or things like that, but the people that do own cars are known to be rich. And if you get hit by a car out there and get killed, your family does not know. You're killed. You're dead on the side of the road. The person who hit you continues to drive, and if anything, if there's other people around, they'll just rob you, rob your person. So that's very scary. There's a lot of motorcycles and bikes, of course, as another way of transportation. Some of their traditions and celebrations, such as New Year's, they celebrate it April 13th, and that celebration lasts for 3 days. Also in October, they have somewhat of another celebration because it's after, what was it? They have this celebration in October.
After the harvest.
After their harvest. They go to temple twice a year, and I would like to show you. These are women that dress up in the temple and do such dances and traditions and things like that. And also the temple itself. Kim's been to the temple plenty of times. And then there's the plant life there as well. It's taking over the temple, as you can tell. So in September, they also share food at the temple. As far as marriages go, you only marry once, as far as a woman. The men can have many wives. If you have a baby out of wedlock, you are disowned from your family, or you have to marry the man in order to remain good standing. Most marriages are arranged. And we would also like to show you a clip on their flags, along with their national anthem playing in the background.